All right, welcome back everyone for another Sunday session recap. Hopefully you guys are gonna benefit from this, weekly recap that I periodically sending to your emails, sending to our channel, and recording you guys every week. A session so you guys can really benefit from it. Make sure to really subscribe my channel and symbol alerts channel. We only have one symbol alert channel, and you can also follow us on Twitter. I have there's one Twitter for me, Mr. Trades, and there's a symbol alerts Twitter that you can get the alerts and see what are the stocks that are running. And I also usually post the watch list on the Twitter, so you can also see that every morning. I post the watch list for the day that I'm trading. So let's get into our watch list today. It's been a crazy week. Last week, we had some major bankruptcy news, as expected. Personally, my research was focusing on these major exchanges, which consider also when you look at it as a stock trader, as I'm not a really a crypto trader. I don't put all my money in the crypto. I don't really suggest that to anyone, but lately it's been a lot of tension and concern about most of these major crypto exchanges, and we had a very unique news when the it came out last week on, I think, on Monday. FTX, second largest exchange in the world, with a lot of good reputation, good endorsements from a lot of politicians, a lot of celebrities and all that, and a lot of endorsement to the founder. And it turns out everything was a giant money laundering and fraud to the U.S. people, to the people international in the world. Sadly, a lot of people lost a lot of money. Still, they stuck into their accounts. I personally know few that still are not able to withdraw their funds because the company filed for Chapter 11, filed for bankruptcy, and things got very ugly quickly on FTX. And my take was, I was expecting this happen. I already spoke about this in the past. That do not rely on online exchanges. If you have any crypto, always put it in a hard wallet. Have a there are many brands out there you can use. Purchase and then transfer your money to your wallet. It's very risky if you keep it on the exchange. I'm not gonna dive into the crypto because I don't consider myself a crypto expert and a crypto lover. My main focus is stock market, and my main full-time focus has always been stock, and it's gonna be stock because we're talking about a very regulated, cross market, and crypto is still not really in that level yet, at least as far as we're seeing. Obviously these stuff happen, and it can really bring more concern to regulations and a lot of people, that how they can really trust this new era. But with these people that are running companies like that and making do this with their people's fund, it doesn't necessarily means that just the crypto. It really means that how you risk how could you be a good risk manager, your risk management, and how much you are really you know, focus on the people's money, because when it comes down to managing people's fund and having a company like that and having that much money in your asset under management, you always have to have certain threshold and trigger, and making sure that everything goes smoothly. But in this case with the FTX and Sam Fried, this guy was gambling people's money, as it appears. So it's not really ideal to forget about it. It's just one of the things that happens. In the past '08, we saw Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, all these banking investment in the past, they made mistakes and they collapse. And we will see more of these, upcoming bankruptcies to the next year. In my opinion, we will see much of a craziness overall in the market and recession. So be cautious, be mindful, have your cash be liquid. Do not put your hard money in somewhere that you don't understand it. You don't know what's going on. Do your research. Always be smart about your money. I mentioned that so many times, and the people are not listening. People don't want to really learn in that way to understand better how the money works, how smart money trying to do the things in their with their money, and you can learn from the best, to be kind of in that level. Don't be a person that doesn't have any knowledge, any zero understanding of a capital market or money. So it's always good to be prepared. It's okay if you're behind of so many opportunities, because opportunities always represent itself. There's always another opportunity that you can take action. So it's not going to be the end of the world if you're not taking action on something that you don't understand. So this is my takes. I always suggest you guys to think like that, have a right mindset towards whatever you're doing with your money. So let's get started. I'm gonna keep this short. Our watch list this week it's gonna be short, and I'm gonna start off with the Hood, Robinhood, which would be also a main concern for upcoming week and following month. As these this major news came out, and my focus would be if Hood or any other exchanges, because Robinhood is more of a broker. It's not really their focus is not in crypto as much as like FTX. FTX is a crypto exchange, so entirely they're dedicated their focus on the crypto. Robinhood is not in that level, but you should always consider what's going on, what's going to happen. And the main concern for me on this Robinhood, as I personally don't use Robinhood, and I know much of you guys beginner traders are still using Robinhood, still user friendly for many of you, and I always mention it in the channel, do not use Robinhood. It's not suggestible if you want to become a really good trader or a full-time trader, even as a part-time. Robinhood, if you have that, just move your money somewhere else. I think this is like 100 times I mentioned. Focus on set up a better account on your with the right brokers. On our channel, you can see on our ping message we have our partners in the brokers, not necessarily main brokers that are partners, that are just more suggestible for people that want to start. We don't get any commission or anything from them if you sign up. It's just the best thing that I personally use for my trading, and I just share it with you guys, what you guys I mean, what's the best for you guys to start with. And Robinhood is not the one. So keep that in mind. Robinhood has major problems in the past, and they get these reflections coming from stuff like bankruptcy happening around the world. It's always reflected on Robinhood as well. So my goal this week would be focusing on Hood. However, it's on the range of higher float stock, so it's not really a cup of the tea for me. I like more of a low float stock, but the price range is ideal. I like the price range at the $10 range, so it's on my watch list definitely because I like the price, and it's really tradable. It's not like $100 anymore. That I don't like to trade that type of price range. But it's relatively super high float, so stock can really slowly can move. But my focus would be this major news that we have here. Bank Freeman, who is the Bankman Freeman, who's the founder, who's the founder of the FTX and CEO, was the CEO, who stepped out of the CEO of the FTX, stepped down as a CEO last week, as we saw on the news. He has over 472 million shares on Robinhood. This was the news that came out, and he probably, based on what happened with his funds, and he went from 28 billion in one night to zero net worth. So it's very important to know that how he's gonna really react to his major stakes on Robinhood. My focus would be on that major news, what's going to happen on Monday, if Robinhood's going to have some sort of dilution, or there's so many possibilities that could happen. Authorities, obviously, they could froze his assets, and he won't be able to really take his stake. So it's unclear what's going to happen, but my focus would be on the technical side of this and see how it really affects on the price action. And I want to see that trends. A lot of investors concerned, a lot of traders are concerned about this news that he could possibly sell all his position, and this can really affect on Robinhood stock. So it definitely going to be a shortable setup, but the timing is very important. So I would concern if this thing's going to really drop all of a sudden on Monday. I do not think so, but it can be periodically, it can be slowly, as the stock of the Robinhood overall has been, it was in this bounce from $8, and on the news came out, it actually pumped up. So you should see that a lot of price. There must be a lot of there would be a lot of volatilities, in my opinion, for the upcoming week, especially on Monday. So we'll see how it goes. But my take will be definitely shorting this in the right timing. Not saying that it would be ideal to do it now, as the stock is ETB, I believe, easy to borrow. So it can really increase that short float. A lot of people already starting it even on Friday, or waiting for a Monday to take a position. But it's risky. Your risk is more higher. In my opinion, it can really pump to 11, and kind of have that price action based off this news for the upcoming week. Or it can really trade flat, not gonna really have any moves, any volumes, because you should not expect that could happen based on one major news. And 7% stake is relatively high high stakes, but it definitely it's not going to be all of a sudden dilution. There's some regulation on it, so it's it probably not going to be that quick. So keep this in on our watch list. I have it on our watch list. I would definitely focus on this on Monday, Tuesday, and the entire week. See how it plays out, and if the setup is there, if the right timing is there, we take advantage and talk about it. Next thing I have on the list, I started with the last, which was Hood, and the main one. But I'm gonna go to GCT we had last week. GCT was actually one of those Chinese pump again. Stock haven't it has this news regarding a private domain for seller on its B2B Giga Cloud marketplace. So the news is nothing. It's false. As we saw on all these Chinese play last week, I mentioned so many of them, and as we seen, they're all all in the same concept. They don't really hold their gains, so you gotta always be careful. Just day trade them, and make sure that they keep their range safer. As we traded on the Monday, stock traded on from pre-market to the market open, and then fade out to the to the next day and multi days, and then it hits the lower of I think a 52-week lower 4.7, and then bounce back slowly on a very low volume, very thin. So it's not. It's definitely an insider pump in that action. So it's just not gonna be a good setup if it's gonna bounce and then people jump back in here and then trade it. A lot of concern on these Chinese, obviously. So you should not really trade when there's no volume, because you're trading with algos, and pretty much few insiders try to pump the price back to the range and bring more attention to the traders and investors as general, just to get action on their price. So that's what I'm seeing right now. It's actually trend ups on this uptrend line. So still from that bounce, hold its gain a little till Friday. So I would expect this to kind of run again for the possibly not on Monday, but maybe following week. We'll see how this goes, but definitely this is on the watch list. I would look for this as a back pocket also. Next one I have is IMUX. I tend to really not trade the stock that are really into this range below $2, but they have upcoming conferences on December and November. So I would expect this. Biotechs are relatively run up based on some upcoming news that they have. So I am expecting this to kind of have some sort of action, but ideal for me would be above 162, their highest, to 180, and then $2 range. So that's what I'm looking for from IMUX. I don't expect this to really run up. Maybe not even this week, but I personally want to see that how it's gonna react based on the news. If they're gonna have some good overall conference meeting. And after their earnings, so this wasn't really a setup that you should really focus on. But I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this volume to kind of increase and see how it's gonna react. So I'm UX, and the next one we had DWAC. DWAC, Trump's Trump's really um, you know, a lot of people, a lot of traders are love this stock because of, overall Trump ownership on this SPAC deal. So possible pump towards the $30 as he probably gonna speak next week. I think maybe Monday, I believe. He's gonna speak and announce if he's gonna run for the White House again, which is very possible, and he will eventually probably do that. So the DWC, based on that previous news, there were some good action and good trade we had last week on this one. I personally made some trades on this DWAC, but highly risky. It's not really recommended for any beginners because the spread is huge. You don't want to get stuck into something that it's very thin, and it can really destroy you. Same as HUDI, but for in this case you're dealing with a U.S. company, not really a Chinese pump. So actions can really be beneficial. I would think that this can really have possible run up again for the Monday and upcoming week. Expectation would be above $30, and then some sort of dilution, and it could take place above $30 because obviously they need the cash. If that's going to really help the campaigns or any sort of things like that for the company as well. So you got to consider all the aspects and see how this going to plays out. But as a technical part, this has been a really good trade for the past week, and the range has been pretty nice uptrend. So I would expect this to have some good action for following week. We'll see how it's going to play out. And the last one, at least, Carvana, CVNA. This is stock. One of those great company that came out with a really great idea, pioneer of that they have a really good reputation and great fundamental overall. But as of few years, and obviously their earnings, it wasn't really desirable for investors. So the stock dropped down to the range that I like, the $10 range and all that. So it's really important to focus on this as a higher float stock. So personally think that Carvana will have some sort of continuation from this range to $13 because of their I think they had a major news. They had fundraise last week. They raised fund, and but you gotta consider their cost and debt financing on this. So I would also look for the fundamental side of this Carvana, because it's a higher float stock and they have a really good fundamental to look at it, not just the technical part. So Carvana, from that $9 range, it's been really solid trade. Also on the both side, not just generally on the long side. So you could also take some action as the stock it's ETB. You can take some action on the short side if this is gonna reach to $13 range. So I will look for the Carvana as well for the watch list and continuation this upcoming week. And last one that we have is GEO, obviously. My swing trade alert. It's been a great from I think for a few few weeks in a row where I'm still on this one fully. But as I mentioned in the past, in our previous week, I'm only focusing on, to see that 13 Fs come out, especially from, Michael Barry asset management, Scion asset management. So my focus would be how it's gonna plays out as a major institutional focusing on this, how they're gonna position themselves. However, I have a very low average on this one. I already took partial profit on this, and as I mentioned last week, this is a great spot to have your partial. Their earning was good, but it wasn't as good as previous quarter. So their stock had this price action before. I think it was on Wednesday. Yes. And then this is the range that you can really take your profit and be happy with the run, because we're on this for 4 weeks, 5 weeks in a row. I think more than that, from $7 off of my call. So it's a great area to take your profit and ready for 13 Fs coming out tomorrow, and see how it's gonna go. I personally would wait for that 13 Fs come out and then take my last position and plan on this one. If I'm gonna really take an exit, take my last profit, and then wait for another downtrend and possible drop, as it could be, because we're getting to this end of the year. It's better to always readjust your position if it's already gonna fade out. The stock has been running for a long time. I believe it's been. Yeah, stock has been up pretty nicely from our range. So I would expect this to really trade flat until some major news come out from 13 Fs. Let's see how this is gonna play out. But if you have a position still on this one, make sure to take a partial profit, or if you are not comfortable, take your profit. Or if you want to continue holding this, have your plan and make sure you're understanding what you're doing. So that's about it. This is gonna be our wrap for today. Recap session, Sunday session. I always try to do my best to give you guys the best ideas of what's gonna be the ideal for trading. Any time that I'm trading something, I always share with you guys and see what is the best to look at. However, we will see a lot of other micro pennies are pumping, and a lot of stocks that are pumping. So don't get really distracted by a lot of options. Always narrow down your focus to few stocks, one or two for the day, and that's it. Yeah, that's we're gonna wrap it up here. If you guys have any question, just reach out, DM me, or reach out our support, or email us. It will definitely help you out if you have any question. If you're struggling, I'm here to help you guys. Just message me. We can jump on a call and talk about it. Or if you wanted to level up, be on the next level on your trading journey, you can reach out also. I'll help you out how to really elevate that. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Take care, team. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk tomorrow, and let's have a blast week ahead of us.